So before I start the video, let me give you a little bit of background on myself and my parents. I came from a third world country, so did my mother, and my father was also there. My dad was my mom's first love, first relationship, and she lost her V card to him. As far as I know, as far as what she told me, and as far as the stories I heard from my dad. But then my dad left my mother when I was, I think, 1 or 2 years old, so at a very early age. And he went off to some other country that I don't want to mention the name of. And he got married again, cheated on my mom, and moved on with his life, leaving me and my mother behind. So I grew up in a single family household, and obviously, as you guys can tell from first, that I was not born and raised in the West. I was actually born in a third world poor country, and two, my mother became a single mother not by choice. That I was raised not by a basic single mother. So that's why before you start jumping in the comment section talking about, oh, you can't be talking down on single mothers when when you were in the same type of situations, you're being a hypocrite. No, I'm not. I'm talking about the basic single mothers in the Western civilization today, how they act, how they live their life. You guys already know. That's another video topic. I don't want to talk about on this one. So my mother worked a lot and struggled a lot just to keep some food on the table for me and herself, and a roof over her head. In that culture, again, where I'm from, in that culture, it's actually pointed at the women. It's actually the women's fault if she gets divorced by the husband in her marriage. If, like, doesn't matter what the husband does. And again, all of these things in other societies where women are being treated very poorly, in Muslim countries, we know that women have to be like, they can't even show their hands or anything. They have to look like ninjas from top to bottom. Everything has to be covered. Or if they go out by themselves and they get raped, it's their fault that they were out by themselves. All these other countries where women are being treated very poorly, not fairly at all. I don't believe in any of that either, fellas, ladies. There's always should be a power balance. And all of these situations, in my opinion, created this feminism movement. They're saying that women are not being treated right, this and that. Yeah, I get it. At some point in history, even in the West, women probably weren't getting right. Women probably weren't treated right. Were they treated as bad as these other third world poor countries and these other Muslim countries? Probably not. But these American women, these Western women, thought that they were still getting treated poorly, and I'll give you that. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. There were some violence going on, some situations where women were really the victims. But then we all know what happened since feminism took off. The whole game changed, everything turned around, and now men are being the victims. There never should be any group of people who should be victims. I believe in everybody having equal rights. Obviously, I believe that. Everybody having equal power. Obviously, I believe in that. And the laws should also treat every single one equally and fairly. That's what I believe in. I don't believe in men having more power than women. I don't believe in women having more power than men. But anyways, so when I was growing up, as I mentioned, that my mother was like, I grew up from a very poor family. So you can already imagine that, and luckily I didn't have any other siblings. I'm the only child. If I did, things would have been that much worse for my mom to take care of me and my siblings. So I had to learn to contribute to the family. I had to learn to do things on my own. I had to learn not to rely, not to depend on anyone. True independence. I had to learn that from a very early age. Not this independent crap that you see out here in the Western civilization today, in today's world, where women talking about being independent. You're not independent. You still rely on Big Daddy government to pay your student loans, to pay for your college. You still rely on your own father to pay for your school, to buy your new car, to buy your first car, to buy you things. You're not independent at all. And you still depend on a man, or want to depend on a man after college to pay off your student loan debt so you don't have to pay it off. That's not independence. Again, There's that independence, and there's financial independence. I'm not financially independent yet, but I'm working towards it. And most of us are not even financially independent. So don't give me this crap. Oh, I'm strong and independent. No, you're not. You're weak and you're still dependent on somebody or on some entity. You're not completely on your 2 feet. But anyways, so I had to learn how to cook, clean, take care of myself. Um, all these things that today's kids are not learning. I had to learn how to do well in school. I had to learn math. I was learning eighth grade math when I was in fourth grade. I had to learn everything very quick, very at a very advanced level, because that's how my mother raised me. And I cannot thank her enough for that. If I had the opportunity to go back and change some things in my life, probably the only thing I would change would have been spending a little bit more time with my mother, because when I was going through my teenage years, obviously I was acting like every other teenager, and not listening to her, and doing things I shouldn't have been doing, because I didn't have a father figure in my life to guide me, to be that character in my life where I had to be afraid of someone. I was really not afraid of my mom when I started becoming a teenager, and that's how things end up happening with all these single mother household families. When they have a son, the sons end up committing crimes and going off on a different path where they shouldn't be going on to, because they don't want to listen to their mother. Their mother can't guide them. Their mother cannot be that father figure. At the end of the day, she's a woman. She will never be a man. So that's just the child picks it up. But yeah, my mother taught me how to think outside the box, how to think for my own self. You know, she did tell me to go to college, and I should be going to college and doing this and that. But that's because she didn't know any better. She went to her college. She went to college herself. She didn't know much about businesses and investments and this and that. And every single person in my family who started some sort of a business ended up failing. So she also had that fear, is that, once you have a bad taste in your mouth, you don't want to go back to it. So she had that fear in her that maybe my son, if he wants to do a business, or maybe if he wants to invest, he probably shouldn't, because it fails. So maybe that was another reason why she didn't encourage me into that line either. Later, I figured it out all for myself, and now I'm investing for my future into becoming financially free. But the problem with today's parents, the reason why I'm telling you all this is because now I can't talk right now, fellas. Man, it's been a long morning. Now I want to compare my mother with other parents in the West. Now, when I say that parents are the worst enemies, are the biggest enemies of their children, I don't mean that they're intentionally wanting to harm their kids. I don't mean that they have ill thoughts and ill wishes for their kids, for their children. Most of them, if not all parents, want their children to do well in life. I get it. But they themselves don't know how to parent, which is why they are causing harm in their kids' life unintentionally. They don't even know how big of a damage they're doing to their kids. How are they doing this? They buy them the first car. Let's just start with that. They buy them their phone. They buy them all this nice fancy clothes, taking them out here and there on vacations all the time. Fancy food. They make sure they go to a private school in high school, if not, or regular college or regular high school, and then after that they start saving up for their college, for the kids' college. Nobody saved up for me. I had to pay it off myself. I have zero student loan debt because I worked really hard, and I got some scholarships, and I also paid out of pocket because I had and I still do have other jobs on the side that I used to pay off student loan debt, because I told myself I'm not going to take a student loan debt. I don't want that interest rate. Fellas, nothing is wrong with parents doing these nice things for their kids, right? Nothing is wrong with that. I'm not saying that. But what is the kid learning? They're learning that they're getting all of these things without even asking for it. They get the new iPhone 11 without even asking. Why do you need that? They get the 2015 Jeep Cherokee. Why do you need that? I bought my own first car with my own hard-earned money. I bought my own first phone with my own hard-earned money. I'm sorry, I take it back. My first phone was a flip phone that my auntie, was almost about to throw away, and she gave that to me. That phone was so beat up. That's what my first phone was. I still wear the same pair of shorts, same pair of jeans, same pair of clothes, same pair of shoes for years that I've owned. Why? Because in my head, I know that this money that I'm saving from not spending it on, I can use that in an investment opportunity, become financially free quicker, buy more real estate properties, things like that. I'm not telling you guys what you should be investing in. I'm just saying what I'm doing. So and also this is also allowing me to open up my mind for to see newer opportunities, to see bigger things, to see the bigger picture. And when you start giving your kids all these things, when you start pedestalizing your own kids, man, I have seen kids disrespect parents so much, and parents don't say anything. My mother would have backhanded me like that. My uncles in the family, if they heard me talking to my mom, raising my tone, oh my God, bad day for me. So these parents are pedestalizing their kids. Now, I'm not telling you to go abuse your kids, but you definitely need to train your kid of what's acceptable, what kind of behavior is acceptable, what kind of behavior is reasonable, and what kind of behavior is unreasonable. Yeah, I get it, you'll get frustrated in life sometimes, but why would you take it off on your parents? I get it, something went wrong. What can you do to make it better now? That's how these kids should be trained to think about the future, to think for themselves. These kids don't have these things, these tools in life. Don't give a man a fish. Instead, teach him how to fish. Because then he'll be able to eat for the rest of his life. When parents are obviously older than their kids. So at one point, you are going to die as a parent, right, Mom? Your kids are going to live after you. If you don't give them the tools and you're not there to take care of them anymore because you passed away, what's your kid going to do? Your kid's going to be stuck. Your kid's going to give up even with the smallest hurdle coming in their way. You're going to be depressed. He cannot be strong. Or if he's a girl, if she's a girl, she's gonna turn into a promiscuous girl. She's gonna sleep around, try to get that void filled up from someone. This is why a married family, a happy married couple, is the best situation for a kid. Not divorced, not none of that, because the kid is seeing that this is how their relationship be like, loving, caring, nurturing, not playing games, not who has more power over who, not dominance. I'm not talking about equal partnership here, fellas. I'm talking about dominating in a sense of being an a-hole all the time to your wife. Your wife, you can still train your wife to let her know who runs the show in this house, but that doesn't mean you have to be a-hole to her all the time. Your wife should know all those things before your kid even comes to this world, before you even think about having kids. Your wife should already be trained. That way there's no confusion of who's doing what when the kids come into the world. Everybody knows their part in the family. Everybody knows their role in the family. And the kid is growing up seeing the exact same thing, learning the exact same things. The kid is not confused anymore. This is how you're damaging your own children, parents. This is how you're being their best and worst enemies. Not best. This is how you're being their worst enemies. You're not wanting to do it on purpose, but unintentionally, this is what's happening. The kid doesn't have any idea, any experience about life. Nothing. I get it. Your kid is not going to have all the experience until your kid goes out in the real world, but you can still simulate some sort of experience in the kid's life while the kid is living under your own roof, which is what my mother did. The kid needs to know what hardship looks like. The kid needs to know what working for your own self, earning your own money, earning your own phone, earning your own car, earning the things you want to do for yourself, by yourself, tastes like. Only then the kid will be ready to work hard for the future. Because nothing worthwhile, no successful man just became successful unless it's a trust fund baby overnight. It took years of hard work. So if you don't give your kids the taste of hard work at an early age, when it comes to just doing basic chores, basic things for himself, doing your own laundry, folding your own clothes, washing your own dishes, taking out your own trash, cleaning your own room, when the kid is not even learning those trivial basic things to do for himself, how is he gonna survive in this race in life, in this race for life? Only it's the survival of the fittest, right? How's your kid gonna survive this? It's not. Hope this video made sense. I hope you parents learned something from this video and took something, and hopefully you apply this in your kid's life. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Until next time, stay blessed, stay beautiful, and above all, stay classy.